Hello, everyone. Welcome back to It Depends, I Guess podcast. I am Jackie.
And I'm Caroline.
And at the back, we have.
DJ.
Yes. Yay.
Welcome
back.
back.
Today is a different kind of episode. So we are doing kind of like a roundup of what's been happening in the world, on the internet, whatever has been trending, pop culture,
Yes.
Afro pop culture, that's a thing. And these are the conversations we have offline. So we thought, why not bring that online as well? So might be a recurring theme. Let's see, we're trying it out. But yeah, welcome to this new one. Housekeeping.
Housekeeping.
Let's start with the highlights and lowlights.
Woo. Okay.
Or both.
I start with me.
Yes.
This is just highlights. So last week we were in Belfast.
Yes.
Yes, we went to visit a friend of ours in Belfast.
Yes.
And we had a grand old time in Belfast.
Yeah, you forget how good of a time
Yes.
Ireland is. The whole island, Republic and Northern Ireland.
Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
I think what stood out for me is when we went out on, we arrived on Thursday, we went out on Thursday night, and we hit we did like a pub crawl, and we went to different pubs. Just how nice people are.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
People are so nice. People talk. And it just felt so nice and warm despite the cold weather.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I didn't bring my winter jacket. I regret I left with a cold. But I loved how people are, the Irish people are, Northern and the Republic.
Yeah.
They're such warm people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No, yeah, I agree. It was really dope. Ironically, I carried my winter jacket, but guess who has the cold? It's so annoying.
Fortitis comes back to
So
fight to bite
annoying,
you.
I'm telling you. But no, but it was so good. It was really good to be back.
Yes.
It was really, really good to be. Although you get off that plane and then the wind hits you and you're like, oh yeah, that part. I don't miss that part.
Actually, when we left Zurich to Dublin, because we flew into Dublin, Dublin was warmer than Zurich, but it felt colder.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah.
You forget the. It can be like 10 degrees, but then that wind off the sea,
Yes.
then it feels like 5 degrees.
Yeah.
So yeah, we totally forgot that part. But
Yeah.
came back real quick.
Yes.
Real quick. But it was an amazing, brilliant weekend.
Yes.
That was really good. It was a good.
It's been a while since we traveled as a group.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it felt nice to link up, visit a new place. It's good,
Yeah. It was a pretty good time. My highlight. Oh, I am out of my cast.
You can wear two
I
shoes.
can wear 2 shoes. Although now I have special shoes I had to get from an
Orthopedic.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm going to say orthodontist. That doesn't sound right. They're orthopedist, and it's like they are longish. They look like what boxers wear. You know, boxers have like high top sneakers.
Yes.
But then on the right leg, it has a reinforcement.
Okay.
So like my foot cannot go too far back or too far forward back or forward. It's like it's restricted.
Yeah.
But the left one is fine. But it was just, I don't know. In my head, I was, you think to yourself, oh my God, I'm going to get my cast off and I'm going to like see, first of all, my foot look like a crocodile. Because
it has not seen lotion.
It's not seen lotion. And, also I didn't realize how much skin we shed just on a regular day. I guess because we bathe and shower, and so it comes out in small things, we don't see it.
Yes.
But if you've been like, and my cast will be changed every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So even those 2 weeks where it's covered, when it's removed, I'm just like, is that my skin like flaking off? Like just flaking off. I'm like, whoa. And then they could only do so much because they couldn't like wash it with soap or whatever. So they would just do like a wipe down.
Yeah.
Then the next cast comes on. So so this time like they removed the cast, and I thought it would be like, I don't know what I thought it'd be. And the surgeon is like, yeah, all right, cool, wear your shoes. I'm like, that's it. She's like, yeah. Now go to the physio.
Yeah.
I'll see you in 6 weeks. I'm like, oh, okay, all right.
So did they expect you to just walk out a new calf?
She told me like, did you come with your other shoe? I'm like, yeah. She's like, yeah, wear it.
Oh, wow.
I was like,
Oh,
right.
your foot has not walked
It's
for
not,
6 to
but
8 weeks.
it's more a mental thing.
Okay.
Because I remember literally I was just hobbling. Like I still had to have like one crutch because I was like, why? How do I walk again?
Yeah.
Because also the way the cast is, my ankle has not moved for 2 months.
Yeah.
So it's literally very weak. So it's like you're wobbly. So like, wait, what's happening? She's like, yeah, no, you'll get over it. So yeah. So then I went to a physio. My first session was on Friday, and so she has to, because also there's also like water retention. So she was like, oh, I have to massage your leg. And in my head, I was like bracing for like pain because I'm like, oh, she's going to touch like where the sky is. No pain, regular. Yeah. And I was like, oh, I don't feel a thing. She's like, yeah, that's fine. So she just has to like, she like grabbed the leg. And I was like, are you touching the scar right now? She's like, yeah. I was like, I can't feel pain. She's like, yeah, it's healed. But it's also like how the body is truly a wonderful thing. Like how it's able to like heal, and like I mean also it made me really think about like the value of good health.
Yes.
And I think we take that for granted.
Yeah.
So I am back, I'm walking. I am like a kid with when you have a new car and you're like find a new reason a reason for like, let me go to the shop. Let me go here. That's where I'm like, oh, let me walk there. Let me walk and do this thing. But yeah, I'm still working like a toddler, but it's forward movement. That's what's important. But yeah.
Yes.
Hopefully, maybe stay healthy.
We will.
Yes. DJ, highlight, lowlights.
Lowlight is Drake versus Kendrick for me. Personally, I don't want to get into it because I get really emotional.
There's an upcoming session on this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's become no, it's not fun anymore. I think we are done rapping.
It's not fun for who? For Drake fans?
For Drake, for Drake fans, we are just taking it. I know Drake is taking it harder than we are.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a big Drake fan, and
yeah,
it's not fun anymore. The stuff he said is unforgivable. But anyway, we'll move on.
It's good fun for hip hop people.
I can't wait for that section when we talk about this because I have not kept up to date with what's happening, and I can't wait to hear.
No, it's become really disrespectful, and
I don't know if it's beef.
No, it's nah, it's too much.
There's no beef; it's just beef. It is
too much.
It is what it is.
Cool.
It is, but we're coming to that section. I am looking forward to delve in further in there. Okay, so hopefully we get to hear your opinions.
If I don't get emotional,
it's okay.
I will keep pressing.
I'll just keep quiet.
I will keep pressing just to get it out of you.
No.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay. So then now, let's dig into what's been happening over the past month-ish.
Yes.
Yeah, and I guess we'll kind of go in we'll try to kind of go like Africa-wise.
Yes.
Then things that touch on more global than just Africa, and then things that's just been the internet as well.
Yes.
Like what's been big and trending.
Yes.
So we'll start with El Nino and all the flooding that's happening in East Africa.
Yeah. And Brazil as well.
Yeah, I know Brazil, there's floods happening as well.
Yeah.
I know there was flash floods in UAE.
Oh, yes.
In Dubai.
Just before it hit East Africa.
Before it hit East Africa.
Yes.
But that's where we're from, East African region. So that's hit us really hard.
Yeah.
So it's been pretty bad. It's El Nino.
Mm-hmm.
Ironic, it had been forecasted to have happened. That was meant to happen.
Yes.
For some reason, our honorable president said all El Nino will happen in this time period, which is not the period that was said by the meteorological department.
Yeah.
I don't know why we listen to
a
president and there's a whole department that's focused on weather, and they were like, no, the El Nino is coming. It's not when he said. So then when it hammered it's hammering the country right now. It's insane.
Yeah.
The death toll as of yesterday was 228 people.
Yeah.
But people who've been displaced is like now over 300,000 people.
Yeah.
And I think the places that have been hit most, so unfortunately there was an unfortunate incident in Mai Mahio.
Yeah.
Yeah, where a dam burst its banks.
Yeah.
and swept away, created landslides, swept away villages, houses. People are still looking. The people who are still being looked for. So that's insanely sad.
Yeah.
And then Nairobi.
In most of the places are no-go zones. And electricity keeps going off.
Yeah.
I think those things go hand in hand in Kenya.
Yeah. We always have this joke. So my mom, we have a farm where my mom is based.
Yeah.
And when I'm in the country, I'm mostly there in Migori, in the western part of the country. Whenever it rains, power goes. Now it rains every other day. It's
so
agricultural region, so power goes. It is a strong wind, you just know.
Yeah.
And then you know how in our culture, if it rains, if it's about to rain, because we hang our clothes outside to dry, when you're a kid, you're told, it's about to rain, go and hang the clothes, right? So we have a running joke that Kenya Power is the same way. They're like, hey, you guys about to rain, go and hang our electricity. Because I'm like, why does electricity and rain?
Yeah.
It's like the one comes in, the other and goes out the door.
Yeah.
But and there's already been issues with power reliability. We're not as bad as Nigeria or South Africa.
South Africa here, it's really bad.
Yeah. We're not that bad, but it's been unreliable, not as reliable as it's always been.
Yeah.
So it's worse off now with the floods, and I mean, it affects infrastructure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen some of the infrastructure affected is you have trees along the road.
Yep.
If they fall, they cut off power lines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They follow. Yep.
Yeah. Then sometimes the whole countrywide power grid is affected. Maybe the main, I don't know, whatever you call it, but the main dams, maybe they can't keep producing the electricity as they should.
Yeah.
So it's quite sad when I see the news every other day and I get the forwarded on WhatsApp, there are some places that even on the highway, traffic just stops.
Yeah.
The roads are completely flooded.
It becomes a lake. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And to be fair, on the electricity side, also, I mean, one of those who strongly hates on Kenya Power, but at the same time, also to give credit where credit is due, Kenya is one of the few countries globally where almost 100% of our energy is renewable energy.
Yes.
So a lot of our water, a lot of our electricity is hydro-powered and geothermal powered. And then our wind energy is coming up as well.
Yeah.
Solar, not as much as it should, given that we're on the equator.
We would harvest and harness a lot
of solar, yeah.
Yes. I think people do it for self-home projects or small projects for industries or for homes.
Yeah.
But it's not something that maybe Kenya Power has thought about it in mass.
Honestly, I think it's I think they're gatekeeping a lot.
Yeah.
So, because if you look into getting a solar grid to power your home, or if it's just powering your home, just electricity, that's okay. If it's powering even a small factory, it's the cost of especially the batteries that store the power. The way they tax it. So because you're mostly importing that.
Yes.
Yeah. It's so high, so they make it very expensive for you to get solar power. So the barrier to entry is very, very high. So and I think that's a lot of them gatekeeping. And why? Who knows? Our country, somebody's eating somewhere, and that's going to stop their eating. So here we are.
Yeah.
But then yes, and in the midst of all the tragedy and what's happening, people find ways to find humor in these situations. And I think I was saying these days, sometimes I go on the internet and I see what's happening and I'm like, if we don't laugh, we'll cry. So you might as well laugh, right?
Yeah.
But it was the funniest statement I saw about Nairobi situation. Take away electricity. The roads are flooding. And the roads started flooding before the rains were even that heavy.
Yeah.
Right? So now when it got heavier, it just got worse. And folks are like, if your drainage system is evaporation, this is where we end up.
You know what I saw on the internet that made me laugh, and I think somebody had created content around that.
Yeah.
Is when they have the country census,
Yeah.
they ask how many cars do you have, how many boats do you have. Then somebody's like, Now we
Now it makes
understand
sense.
why they ask
We
about
needed
the
to have
boats.
these boats.
Because that question never made sense, especially if you're in urban areas.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
No, it's just we know what happens in our regions. And at least speaking of Nairobi, right? A lot of this is just mishandling of
Yeah. Resources.
resources and
Yeah.
certain infrastructure that should be in place. A drainage system is something
Yeah.
that's key
Yeah.
in an urban city. But because everyone has shortcuts, there's so many estates and places that have been built in Nairobi that were built on either they were previously existing
Yeah.
rivers
Yeah.
or banks. I'm not saying rivers in other countries they don't take over land that was a river.
Yeah.
They do. But they also have to think about, okay, water has to go somewhere.
Yeah.
Do we redirect this thing? How do you take care of it and build for, like, how do you future proof what we've done, right? So it can't just be, oh, this swamp has dried up. Let me just build a house on it.
Yeah.
If there was a swamp there, there's a reason why it's swampy. The soil structure is swampy soil. There's all these things that go into it. So take care of that before you just say, today the swamp is dry. Let's build a house on top of it. If it rains, your house will be...
And they're selling those plots, and they will go in January and tell you, oh, we have good land. Let me show you the land. In January, it's completely dry.
And people have been posting those images of it, and then you see, those signs that people put in like for sale.
Yes.
The thing is now you can only see the for sale because the land is underwater.
Yeah.
And again, these are things. It's frustrating. The administrative people are frustrating. Like, I have my feelings about the current person who wants to put up a discotheque in the middle of Uhuru Park, and his solution to the roads flooding was telling people, well, then move. Where?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where are we move? It's frustrating.
And I don't know whether you saw the images for my Mahio.
Yeah.
I think what hit me the most and I could not wrap my mind around is how big the stones that actually, they were boulders
that were
coming
down. Yeah.
and flattened the village.
Yes.
A whole village.
Yeah.
It's
because again, if we look, if I were to go into a rant into the many things that are at fault, it's a whole bunch. But you also don't, if we look where and this, I don't know who was telling this, Switzerland is a very hilly country.
Yeah.
Hilly, mountainous country. What I found very interesting is if an area is hilly, they build with the gradient.
Yes.
So they'll reinforce and rebuild with the gradient.
Yes.
For us, what we do is we cut into the hill.
We do how do you call this? The L?
Yes. So you dig into the hill and cut it off.
Yes.
So instead of building with the hill, you keep flattening the hill. So it's like, oh, we're eating it, but we're not reinforcing this part that's still here.
Yeah.
So if anything ever happens and you've already messed with the soil composition and the structure, that stuff will all come down.
Yeah.
And all these houses are here in the valley.
Yeah.
What's going to happen to them?
Yeah.
It's, if there's a higher power, truly, he has a special place for Africans because the way our countries are built, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a good thing we don't have earthquakes. It's a good thing this stuff happens once in a while. It's a good thing we don't have cyclones, even though there was a cyclone that was to hit the coast of Mombasa, of East Africa, Kenya and Tanzania recently. It's a good thing we live in very stable regions from a nature perspective, because things can get much worse.
I'd imagine like the hurricanes that I see in the US, like if something like that was to hit us, it would be...
We are not built for it.
Yeah.
We are not built
drastic.
For it. There's a lot of campaigns and funds up right now. So if you want to give towards those, there's a whole bunch running. But again, I think in the last episode, we're talking about our self-organizing, and it's been really good to see people self-organize and come together to like, oh, this area, people are being swept and people have gone and rescuing the families and the children, and it's people. You don't see government resources there because again, we're good at self-organizing and figuring stuff out. So yeah, my thoughts are with my people.
Yeah, me
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Me too. Before we close on that, surprising thing is that the coastal region in Kenya is not affected as much as you would think, because they are always the ones who bear the blunt of the rainy season.
Yeah.
But this time round, they are completely.
They've been, yeah. I wonder,
dry.
did the cyclone hit? No, because that's the only thing that was
Yeah.
meant to
I'm
hit
not
on.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know if it did.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, surprisingly, without that, and also in the like the region my mom is from, like where our farm is, Migori, Kisumu, those sides are also not as heavily affected. Like it's hit a lot of Nairobi and
Yeah.
like Nakuru, Rift
It's a
Valley
central
area
area,
much harder.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, also school openings have been postponed because schools are also now sheltering people who've been displaced.
Yeah.
It's chaotic, let me tell you. As one of who was it? The head of the labor union said, "We will talk to the elders who talk to the rain gods and ask them."
Oh,
please,
your people from Western.
from Western, please pause the rains.
Actually.
Just reduce the rains. So
It's doing proxy
my
work
action item here is I'll talk to my ancestors
to pause the rain.
to pause the rains. We'll figure something out, people. Okay, don't you worry. We'll work on that. Yeah. Then there is stuff happening in DRC.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
DLC.
Yeah. To be fair, there's also instability in like Sudan and other places. But I think it's been interesting. I don't know why this.
Just on the flooding thing.
Yeah.
You're not the only ones with flooding issues. In Dubai recently.
Yeah. Actually, we mentioned Dubai.
So-
Yeah.
But then it was like flash floods and it was like.
But the drainage system is also no good out there. as
True,
well.
yeah.
Because
it's
they're
a
not
desert.
used to the rain.
Yeah, that's true.
But do
Yeah.
you know what the government did after? They went in. I think most of the places that were affected were given subsidies, or there was insurance that
they were
kicked
giving
in.
away cars.
Yes.
Yeah.
They took care of them after, and probably
Yeah.
they're gonna look into the infrastructure if that
Yeah.
happens. But they said it wasn't caused by cloud seeding.
No,
So
yeah.
it was actually some hot weather and something. It was
Cold
something
front.
natural that
Yeah.
actually caused the
Because
rain.
it hit Oman as well. It
Yeah.
hit a few of the countries in that section.
Yeah.
I think Oman, Yemen, not Yemen. I think Oman going into UAE and maybe part of Saudi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was cloud seeding. I'll stop getting my information from TikTok.
I know. I thought it was cloud seeding as well.
That's what TikTok told
That's
me.
what TikTok told me as well. And I was like, look at
Yeah.
them being all technologically
Telling
in
you.
front, but they cannot control.
But you
their
know what
rain.
was helpful? It was helpful that they have all these jet skis. People could use them in the
yes,
street.
Yes,
you know?
yes. They were making.
That
They made good use of
If
the
Nairobi County government is wants to like give people jet skis,
Yeah, and
we are
cars.
open. Yeah, boats. We are open to that.
water. Yeah.
You
mentioned DRC. The next topic, DRC.
Yes. So then now there's a DRC conflict. Yeah. So I think that's the part of what has. I'm very conflicted about many things. We know what's happening in Israel and Gaza and the Palestinian region.
Yeah.
I think it's just been interesting to see all the discourse that's happening around that. But also it's been interesting to see a lot of Africans or people of African origin get involved in that discourse.
Yeah.
And sometimes it not there's an Operation Olympics or anything, but sometimes it makes me wonder. Because in the same period, the unrest in DRC has risen again, right? And is it that the world is used to like Black people, especially Africans, and instability? Is it that
Being
they're
at
like, are you guys, you're used to doing that thing?
You'll keep doing it.
Yeah.
and
So
come
it's not
back.
it's like a footnote,
Yeah.
right? So it's like people are like, yeah, all these things happening in Gaza, it's shade and blah blah blah, and then a footnote there, it's like, oh, also pray for DRC, and it's like we don't like, is it that we don't even
There's never a platform for somebody.
we don't deserve even just a platform for people to be like, yo, the shit that's happening there is
Yeah.
insane. And again, this goes back to my thoughts around a lot of things that happen in the media world are really controlled by the people who it favors them.
Yes.
Because DRC has been unstable for a long time. Yes. It's one of the most rich resourced countries in the world.
Yes.
It's the West that is mining a lot of those resources.
Yep.
When DRC is not stable, it benefits them a lot.
Yes.
So is that why a lot of this stuff is suppressed in the media?
I think it depends, I guess,
Yeah.
to our point of our podcast. The way I see it is, and probably I'm agreeing with you, first of all, there's always been conflict within Africa. And that conflict, I think everybody now expects, Africa, there will always be a war here, a war there. There'll always be instability.
They'll do what they do.
Yes. And the moment that is not highlighted in the news or that is not given a spotlight, yeah, it is also a reverse way of making sure the story is never told. Because in the previous podcast with Adi, there's a way we phrased it. Is it the untold story or how the story is told?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if the story is told that there's always fights and conflict in Africa, there will never be a time where we will have the focus on something massive that's happening, because there's lots of casualties.
Yeah.
Again, our African continent, is there any country that manufactures arms?
No. No.
This militia...
Let me say it louder. No.
No. This militia and this, or even the people fighting these wars, have the latest ammunition.
Yes. It's like they have no food.
Yes.
They can barely, but then when they have like the latest weapons, you're like, so wait, hold on. How are they getting all these latest weapons? Are they not?
Yes.
They're not manufacturing them where are they coming from?
Actually, people should take a note, and whenever you're watching some of this, look at when they show you the militia people, their clothes are in tatters.
Yep.
But they're holding a gun worth 10,000, whatever.
People are not fighting with machetes or spears.
Yes.
We are not fighting in the 1920s.
Nope.
They are fighting with proper weaponry. It's like these people are armed to the T.
Yes. And I think that would be something that bothers me a lot, just knowing that the end of the day, the wars are instigated. There's somebody benefiting.
Yeah.
And it's not just the militia, because the militia people, yes, they're in the forest, they're fighting.
They're also being funded by someone to keep this going.
Keep going. And within that time, they're symphoning. They're symphoning out the gold, like Congo, the area
all the cobalt, all this stuff that's our cell phones, or most of the shit that runs these things come from the DRC.
Yeah, yeah. It's quite sad that that is ongoing, and you will never see it in the news anywhere. As you said, it's a footnote.
It's sad.
I think within chaos, there's a lot of opportunity.
Yes.
So as long as that chaos keeps going, it makes things cheap for us. That's why we can buy all these electronics for really cheap. But because while it's in Africa in the ground, it's worth nothing.
Yeah,
So when you take it out and send it this side, that's when it's worth something.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. And one stat that I found interesting as I was researching is, did you know, since some of this conflict since 96 in DRC, 6 million people plus have been killed.
Wow. That's a big number.
Yes.
6 million
6
plus.
million plus.
6 million plus.
Yeah. That's like the whole of Ireland. Ireland is population 5.8, 5.5. Yeah, 6 million plus have been killed.
That's quite sad.
It's very unfortunate. I don't know.
So you're saying in the month of April we've seen a new
the resurgence and because I think the M23 are trying to get a hold of Goma. So they're trying to they're starting to want to take over and own land. So most of people around Kivu are being displaced. People are being killed. So it's like it dies down, it comes up again. Yeah, there's like always this resurgence there's been a spike from like end of March, like April. There's just been a lot of death and people are displaced and there's lack of food and that means there's health issues and water and it's just this cycle. Yeah. But yeah, we'll figure. I don't know what to do.
We should call the podcast Doom and Gloom. That's a great name for a podcast. Doom and Gloom.
Doom and Gloom. I mean, rebrand.
Then we just finished the podcast on a.
We're like, all right, everybody, let's meet next week in the next episode of Doom and Gloom.
But we are realists.
Yeah.
Yes. We also have things that make us laugh and are positive. But we are realists.
In happier news, I don't know if this is happier news.
Yeah.
Botswana is looking for people who want elephants.
Botswana in happier news, not doom and gloom.
This one is just, I don't know. This one is just, to me, it's fascinating. So now, first of all, Botswana is big.
Yeah.
Land mass wise.
Yeah.
And the population is like 2 million.
Yeah, they're very few.
Yeah. But also, they have the highest elephant population in Africa.
Oh.
Like 140K.
Yeah.
So they're like for every 5 people, there's an elephant.
Wow.
Yeah. Like there's a lot of elephants.
Do they have their own, are they in, reserves or something? Are they closer to people's homes?
So
what's the situation?
So I think they're in, I don't necessarily if it's reserves, they're in their
natural habitat,
right?
Yes.
And people, I guess now people mostly are in maybe cities. So if you take away the Gaborone, the capital, I guess the villages that still exist, and then there is the elephants' natural habitat.
Yeah.
So there's been a period where elephants are being hunted down for the ivory, and so there was a big push to conserve. But now we have the opposite problem.
No.
We have conserved so much that now there's too many elephants.
Yeah.
And so the president is like, okay, we need to find ways to make money and reduce the population. We're not saying kill off the elephants. We understand the value of having them. But also now it's as the countries grow and people kind of are moving out and owning land and whatever, the conflicts grow. So they're saying, all right, why don't we reintroduce licenses, like hunting licenses?
Yeah.
So people to help cull the population. So it's and if the hunting license doesn't mean you just come shoot any. I think in Tanzania they might have it. Where the very old ones, the very old ones, you can get a license to shoot them, and then it's there's a much more ethical chain for let's say those elephant tusks. There's more transparency and more all this. Then I don't know why was Botswana colonized by the Germans. Why do the Germans have an opinion?
Yeah, the Germans. Yeah. I think they were colonized by the Germans.
Okay. So the Germans are in uproar, the German government, about, hey, you can't kill the elephants. And so the president is like, cool, I'll send you 20K elephants. You do with them what you want.
And I have a question, actually. Because in my brain, I'm like, we can't put them on a plane. Maybe some ship.
On a ship. Something? Madagascar. I watch Madagascar. Maybe put them on a ship. You can't put an elephant on a plane. Or cargo plane. It has to be on ship, right?
But also, imagine how big an elephant is. Unless it's baby elephants.
Yeah.
Transporting them on the road, what kind of a car, first of all, you need? You probably...
It's those massive trucks.
Massive,
Yes. So, and they say, because they've shipped many to zoos, but still not at the demand. It's the demand for elephants in zoos is very low compared to the supply.
You're also thinking you need space to put it.
Yeah.
If it's a small zoo, you have one elephant.
You have one, we're done.
You finished your quota.
You finished your quota.
For all animals.
And if you have that one elephant, these motherfuckers live for a long time. So it's not like it's going to be, an elephant a year. Yeah. It's there for 30 years before you think of another one. So now they're having a back and forth with the president of Botswana being and then Britain jumped in the conversation. And the president said, I'll send some to Hyde Park. What's that park where people hang out a lot? let's bring you guys see how it is to live with these elephants, because it's like it's easy for you to have opinions.
Yes.
When this is not your day-to-day lived existence.
That's true.
Which I'm like, that's true. But on the flip side, I can see where conservationists are like, yeah, these elephants are important and blah, 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 blah. But then I'm like, you guys just come when it's holiday time.
Yeah.
To come and see the safari.
Yeah.
And then you go back. But then you don't know the experience of. So, like, I don't know. Like, what do you think should be happening here?
You know, now I think about it, like, first of all, elephants are very clever animals. Yeah. And I don't know, I find them almost as human in terms of, I think they do say they can remember faces and people for years, and they have memory, and you know,
they bury their dead. There was that story in India or Asia somewhere.
Where I went and stomped. Oh, yes.
The elephant that killed the lady, and then went to her funeral
and stomped the grave.
Yes, that one. Yes, they do have a memory. Yeah.
So we're not talking of just killing, like what you would kill a cattle or a cow. You'd kill cattle or a cow for meat or something,
or a sheep. Or dumb. Sorry, we had sheep. We had sheep growing up. They're not smart. They're not smart.
Yeah. So, in my opinion, what would they do with them? Like, I don't know. Let them live.
Feed the people.
Can you eat elephant meat? Actually,
oh yeah, villagers. Yeah,
villagers do.
Yeah. If an elephant goes down,
but it's just that one thigh of an elephant. One thigh, not even the full thigh.
No, that
just the bottom part.
That's
for months.
Feeds the
for months.
A whole district.
Yeah, that's a whole district. Those things are huge.
Yeah, so maybe I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe. Yeah, it's just you have to give people. You can't tell people not to kill them at the same time, because you need to give them options. What do we do with them in the meantime?
And and I think part of what's helpful with the controlled culling, like with the hunting licenses, etc., it takes away, because if they don't do anything, it boosts illegal killing, and then the illegal killing grows illegal poaching, and then that cycle starts again. So there's a value in like having that like controlled with licenses and standards, etc., because then yes, you're looking after the will of the people and like their livelihood and their safety, whatever, but also you're not trying to create this industry that if it's not run well, then that now becomes the growing issue of where we went back to before, where there was now just killing left, right, and center.
Yeah.
But it also made me wonder, I don't know who asked this question. I don't remember. Okay, so because we grew up in Kenya. Kenya is well known for its tourism, safari, the wildlife and everything. Most Kenyans have never gone to go look at the wild. We just know.
Yes.
It's also for the locals. It's also a thing of it's not an accessible thing. They changed it a few years ago, where now on like national holidays, you can enter the parks for free, and the government provides shuttles like buses, so you can just go see the wildlife for free, which is really good. But then I don't remember in our education where we were actually taught about the value of our wildlife.
Oh yeah, no.
I don't think we were ever taught that.
No, not really.
So it always fascinated me when I travel, people are like, "Oh, you're from Kenya? Oh my God, I've come," and it's like, I come every year. The animals, she's like, "You must love it." And I'm like, I don't get it.
I've never seen. Like even me and Zimbabwe, I've never been to Great Zimbabwe.
And Zim has the second highest population of elephants in Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never been to a safari. Well, I've been to a safari because my uncle used to own one. That's the only time but it's not something that we woke up and said, right,
yeah, we're
gonna
go and
yes.
No.
It's only now, as you said, later in the years, that actually people have started a lot more of local tourism. But don't forget, local tourism was because our government were not getting
foreign tourists
because there were those advisories and everything. Yeah. So the government was like, hey, okay, our highest earner, how do we make sure this is ongoing? So local tourism became
one day
big.
we should tell stories about going for, it's sad. when you'd go to like local hotels and how you would be treated as a local.
Yeah, opposed to.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's
Let me
completely
tell
different.
you. Hey, that was
Well, even now it still happens, but
It's
I
yeah.
don't want this to be a doom and gloom.
Yeah, now we're
Part of
Let's pick up the energy.
But I do think we should have in our education programs, conservation should be baked in.
Yeah.
Like understanding the value of our flora, our fauna, like our nature, like understanding that.
Yeah.
Because it's also very interesting when you meet a lot of researchers in like certain very niche, like, oh yeah, I research this specific species of zebra. I'm like, oh, okay. But they're like, oh, that zebra only exists in Kenya. But you are studying it in Australia. I don't know a Kenyan who's studying this. Like, it should be inbuilt in us where we understand the value of these things, and it's like it's ingrained in us versus you're being taught when you're an adult, like, you know, these elephants are important. It's like, oh, okay.
If culturally you grew up in a place where in that culture the animals were not very close to you, you never even understood that they existed. I know the Maasais are very well connected to nature, and they've lived near the national parks. They've coexisted with animals
For a long time.
Yeah. So if you were to ask a Maasai person like about the animals, they would tell you, but this is passed down from their grandfathers, their fathers.
Yeah.
Not things you learn in school. For us who grew up semi-urban, we only read this in the books as a story.
Even you are seeing the pictures of, oh, that's a cheetah. That's nice.
No, we had a story about the hyena that ate.
Oh yeah.
That wanted to eat meat. That's so much we know about wildlife.
Yeah. Oh man. But yeah, if anyone is looking for an elephant, let us help Botswana.
On the brighter side, we do have elephants to give.
We have elephants to give. So if you're looking for, and I mean, to be fair, now continuing on to the brighter side of things.
Yeah.
Guess who's back?
Guess who's back? Back again.
Let me
South
Jacob.
Africa.
Yes, I was going to say in the beginning.
In the beginning.
Jacob.
He's gone back to the beginning.
Listen, Jacob they should put him on money that way.
Oh,
actually, I think I saw an article that was saying the 9 lives of Jacob Juma. The 9. He has existed.
That's exactly how he looks.
Are you listening?
This one. Once he's coming, I think he was banned from running from elections.
Yes, he was, yeah. And then
he started his own party.
Yes.
MK.
MK, which I don't know how to. I'll torture this. No, I'm not saying it.
Try it.
Pronounce it.
If it's KH, how do you say that?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Umkhonto Wesizwe. Umkhonto Wesizwe. Okay, party.
Yeah.
Which means?
The ruler of something of the world. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Because he was kicked out of the NC actually. That's how his presidency ended when he was.
Yeah.
He used to be president of head of the NC.
ANC, yeah.
Yeah.
He was
the sort of impeachment anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He resigned after they said they were going to do an impeachment. Like he was going to get a vote of no confidence.
In his defense, he had a lot of good plans for South Africa that he just didn't get a chance to put into motion, you know.
How many years was he in there?
I think around 9.
About 9 years. Listen, guys, you can't put a time limit on progress. You know what I mean? If it takes 50 years, maybe that's what it takes. Look at Rwanda. How long are we going to be there for?
Uganda?
Yeah, and Uganda as
How
well.
long has he had it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Zimbabwe with
and
our
he still doesn't have time.
You know.
You guys have
Give
done
him
a
a
lot
chance.
with 3. Or to be fair, Mugabe was there for a long
But
time.
Mugabe
was there
had
for.
stayed on for a while. And he was only going to leave once he died.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Bob was different. He had a big vision, you know.
How long did it take to fulfill his vision?
He still didn't. He was trying to put his wife in after he had passed.
Yeah.
That wasn't going to work out as
So
well.
before how long had he been president for?
I think 50. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
And all that time
crazy.
he didn't have time to fulfill
Yeah,
his vision.
no, but you guys you can't rush someone's,
Got it.
you know,
You can't rush. What do they say?
greatness.
Greatness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
You can't rush.
Okay. Well,
so
greatness is coming back.
Jacob Zuma, actually, he's because he's but now back on the campaign trail. I saw that even I think Tambo Beki had to come out in a while where he's not been very political. He had to come out to promote ANC more because it looks like Jacob might get closer to that presidency more than you can imagine if he gets votes in parliament. Yeah, parliamentary
Not to
seat.
sound
Yeah.
like maybe I'll sound like a terrible human being. Why does he have so much support?
I think he appeals to the working class. You know,
Really?
yeah, not a working class, the
Because
working man, you know, the
hustler.
the hustler, you
Yes.
Tell them to learn
he
from Kenya.
sounds like he
We
sounds
want to
like
need a hustler president. Let me tell you.
yeah,
Wow, it's going great
yeah.
for us. Wonderful.
Well, I think he appeals to that man who's, listen, I'm out here trying to put things together, you know,
We're
make things
hustling
work.
together.
We're hustling together. He's got that vibe that, listen, I'm from the streets, you know.
Also, the
and
man
people
is
are
82. Can't this
Look, there's no one younger who's
Can
coming
this
up.
82? Can these people just
82. He's
relax?
82.
Yeah, look, listen, numbers. You
But
guys.
anyway, he looks strong, eh? He does look very strong. Yes.
I mean, he is. This man escaped HIV/AIDS from a shower. I mean, how many people in life can say they did
The
that?
Allegedly.
9 lives.
How many people can say they did that?
Allegedly.
What? He was like the Matrix out here. He's like, no, no. Anyway, God. Our elections are end of this month. South Africa. We wish you well.
Yes, we wish you
We
well.
wish you well. Wish you well.
We're keeping an eye on that one. It's
Yeah.
very interesting.
Yeah.
Don't ask him to say any large numbers.
No.
No
I don't.
large numbers, no complicated words. Let's keep it to
Two small things.
Small things.
Not beginning.
Yes. Okay. Do we want to touch on Zim? Anything in Zim?
well, you could touch on it. I haven't done my research on that one, I'll be honest. Yeah.
I did. I quickly checked on the Zig. When it launched, it was the $1 was 13.56 Zig. They launched when they launched end of March.
End of March, yeah.
Yeah. Today $1 is 10.3 Zig.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Zig is the new currency that's been brought in place of the Zimbabwe dollar, in place of the other small foreign currencies that were being traded in Zimbabwe. So
backed by
it's
gold.
being backed by gold as well.
Yeah. That's an improvement. Like, the exchange rate. Yeah.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
Because I think the Zim dollar was free falling way faster than this.
No, it was in the trillions.
I honestly think it should. I'm interested to see how it goes.
Yeah.
And I actually want it to succeed. I'm one of those who I think it should go, because I don't think anybody has done
the gold
to see, especially to see an African country try this.
Yeah.
And if it succeeds, hopefully it goes well. And it's a country that's been sanctioned, so economically things are tough.
And more targeted sanctions have been added to Zimbabwe
since they launched it.
So now I have a question about the backing this with gold. At the end of the day, you need foreign currency to buy the gold to keep that your own.
If I knew the economics, ins and outs of it, I would definitely. I'm going to do some research and then I have more for you.
Because the sanctions also meant like you cannot sell gold.
You can't. Yes, you can
Zim.
And Zim is a big gold producer.
Yes,
massive.
So, which is why there was all these cartels.
Yes,
that were selling gold, and I think the issue was they're selling the gold, but the money is not making it back to the country. It's just going in people's pockets. So I wonder if, actually, I do. We should dig into that, because I wonder if them doing this provides a way for them to be able to sell gold.
Yeah.
I think if it's
without receiving dollars.
Yeah.
And sell it in this currency.
I think that's why there's so much reaction to it, because it takes the American dollar out of the playing, because we have to talk to our American dollar for us to trade anything within the country or outside. So now that we don't need them, you're just using our own currency, which is worth something.
Yeah.
I need to look
We'll
more
dig
into
deeper into that.
I'll watch documentaries. Oh, sticking with Zim, there's a deal that happened.
Oh,
We're out
yes.
here selling.
Oh my gosh. And this, I just saw it in a post in the news the other day, but it happened between November and December, around there last year, where countries were tasked. I think it's one of those future requirements for countries around the world who produce a lot of carbon emissions to actually offset their carbon emissions. So the way some of them are doing it is very suspicious, which has led to the Scrabble for Africa in terms of a UAE company which has backing from the prince, something like that. They went into certain countries in Africa and bought lands or leased. I need to find out if it's bought or leased, but big chunks of land that they are using because they're using to show that they have offset their carbon emissions.
Yeah.
So it's a way that most Western countries are looking at Africa with fresh eyes. Because if I can go to and buy, let's say, half of, which is the smallest country? Half
Lesotho. I don't know.
if I can go and buy half a country that is just mainly forest. Yes. And then say I'm planting more trees and it's part of my own country, so that's my footprint and I'm offsetting my carbon emissions. So apparently Zim is one of the country this company bought. There's also, I think, Tanzania. There are two more. I can't remember. I think it was Malawi or something. Maybe I can find it. But it's amazing that now the new Scrabble for Africa is buying of land to offset carbon.
I really hope they're like leasing land for like 10 years. I hope they have not gotten those
where they buy
999-year leases.
Yes.
Because in Zim it was sold what? 20% of the country. Zim is not a small country.
No. 20% is a lot.
20% is a lot.
They sold for this one, yeah?
Yeah,
20%.
Yeah, in Zim it was 20% of the country. That's a lot of land.
Yeah. I think it's maybe leasehold. It could be likely, but for many years, many years.
I know. I hope it's like those 30 years.
Yeah, not the
99999 generations and yeah.
So watch out. The Scrabble for Africa is back.
Yeah.
Doom and gloom.
Back again.
We're back at it.
Like we never left.
Why do we always have doom and gloom when we talk about Africa?
I think in reality we are getting a raw deal. You know, and it's unfortunate that we are the richest ones, but we've got nothing to show for it.
Yeah.
And
we
within our
the next
chaos, there are smarter people who come and take advantage of that.
Yeah.
And hence why we are all here, sitting in this house here.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, I wonder, like, is there any brightness in
Africa? Yes.
Well, in terms of what our governments are doing, because these are usually just the complaints. Usually, I find my doom and gloom is basically
doom and gloom is governments.
Yes,
because there's some governments that are doing some good stuff.
Rwanda,
no, is it ethical? Who knows? But
the British are sending refugees there. It must be safe.
I think some landed
must be
already.
safe. Some landed, really.
Yes,
they did. I mean, Kagame is running our country like a CEO.
But if you look at
he's a tech CEO. He's like, I don't care. This is not a place where we're doing. Don't care about ethics. Bring the refugees. Bring them. Deport them here. Because I'm assuming they're getting paid taking these deportees.
But if you think about the UK, do you know how much it costs for them to send them back?
But
and even if you look at the numbers of people, how many people are you going to fit onto a plane? 150, 200 max, you know? And how many people are going into the country daily? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Massive
But
numbers.
I wonder, once they do that, does that empower them to start cracking down, like on the street, like randomly, like, what's your ID? Show me your ID. You know, because the UK has all these weird levels of security detail that are not actually police.
Yeah.
Like they have those speed enforcers. They have like all these weird people who. So I wonder if this is fully passed, if then it empowers them to start like just randomly cracking down on how to find that you're
They've
not
been known
a
to
local.
do that. Well, like while you're on the street there, you just pull you over and say, can we see your paperwork or something?
Yeah.
I've seen
and that fosters a lot of now discrimination because how do they decide who to stop on the street to ask for their ID?
Yeah, I think they just stop everyone, and you know, it's
Really?
if you go to
Really
Are you sure?
if you go to certain neighborhoods, you'll find that there's a larger demographic of non-white people,
and those are the ones who are asked for. So it's these things. It's a slippery slope.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's when I think of doom, the reason like governments, I know like my government, a few other governments.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to think of them and be like, oh yeah,
good job, amazing.
No, but the people, man, people are working overtime. People are, I always say, I don't know where I was giving a talk and I was saying, if you hire Africans, because if you see somebody start a business in an African country and is able to hire people and is able to run that company, even for 10 years, let me tell you, that person in a country like the US could be a multimillionaire.
Yeah.
Because you're working the system that you're working against. It's like you're succeeding
again
in spite of
all odds.
Or because even just registering your business, hey, that in itself is an uphill climb. It's just every step of the way. If your business relies on, like, if you're a factory and you rely on electricity, woe unto you. Like it's just every step of the way. There's so much that is in your way. So you're not able to start something, run something, even if it takes, let's say you tried a business for 2 years and it didn't work out. It's like 2 years in Kenya years is like the equivalent, they said dog years. 2 years is 18 years. That's 18 years in like the US. You've done great.
Yeah.
So when I think of the people, I always think amazing. When I think of the governments, no. Doom and gloom.
Doom and gloom.
Yeah.
But we're not doom and gloom.
Two more exciting things.
Yeah.
Like, hey, music.
No, I think this one I'm going to tap out, guys.
We are now touching on world topics.
Now we're going
we are out of
topics.
Africa.
We're out of Africa.
Yes.
We might touch on Africa again.
Yeah.
So actually, before we go into music, there was a solar eclipse. Let's start there. There was a solar eclipse in April, beginning of April.
April 8th, I think.
Something. Yeah. Do you care? Do you feel like your chakras were aligned? Did you feel...
If Mercury went into retrograde
and micro braids and the rest, how do you feel? Did you feel like you were channeled with the Venus and Mars and your moon rising?
Is that what they say it does to you?
I don't know.
It depends if you believe in that.
Do you believe in the moon rising and the sun rising and the...
No, I think it's just a solar eclipse. I've seen one before.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was younger in Zimbabwe, a total one.
Oh, you guys got a total one?
Yeah.
No, I remember in Zimbabwe when I was with my mom and we had to go to just the upper side of Harare. Yeah, the whole city went black.
Were you out there waiting for it?
Yeah, we were out there waiting for it.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
I think what time was it? I think it was like, probably after lunch, just after lunch.
Yeah.
And then we are there, we all had the glasses and then we are standing next to the car.
Yeah.
Everyone is waiting to check it out and then it happened.
Yeah.
I don't think it's anything. It's like daytime becomes night.
Yeah.
And then it's in the morning again, a few seconds later.
Yeah.
But I imagine somebody out in the village who had no clue.
Oh.
No, the animals went crazy.
The animals go to sleep because I've only been in a partial eclipse. I was in campus. I was in university. So this must have been between 2005 and 2007. And Kenya was in the shadow. I don't think we're in the total eclipse, but it was dark but not pitch black.
Yeah.
But the birds went to sleep. It's a few minutes. The birds go quiet. Chop.
Yeah.
Then it's like it gets bright again and they wake up.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But if you're in the village, like when you're back in the day when these things had no names,
I
could assume
there was
the religious leaders, the villages had
quite a field day.
Come and see what's happening.
It's like
it is my power. I predicted this.
It is the wrath. The wrath has come on to us.
Yes.
Listen, those guys were right. Why are you, just because you've read some books and you were told in science that this is going to happen? These,
Science. I to be fair, I love it, and I watched it. I watched it on the live streams that were running on YouTube. But I think also because I am not obsessed, but I am enamored by all things astronomy and other planets, and it's like, oh, how many times in a year does the moon, the sun, and the earth align, and like we're in the shadow when we're able, like it's fascinating. It's like it feels otherworldly.
Yes.
So from this aspect of just astronomy and science, I love it.
Yeah.
But astrology, don't know.
For me, these things sort of wake me up in terms of thinking how small we are and not in control as we think we are. So if you have like an eclipse, or even when they talk about asteroids coming to Earth, because sometimes they do happen, it's just the atmosphere that they burn in the atmosphere.
Burn out.
Yeah. Some of these things actually just amaze me, just to think we're just a rock. We are on a rock.
It's flying around.
We are on a rock that's just rotating.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird.
Yes.
Yeah, it's hella weird.
Yeah.
But there was a prophet in Nigeria who had said that was a precursor of the world ending. And the earth was meant to end, the world was meant to end on the 25th of April.
Oh.
Yeah, it didn't end. But he said it's because he intervened.
With prayers.
Yeah, him and God had a conversation.
Excellent.
And God said, my son, I have had you. I'll give you guys more time. Yeah. Yeah.
Carrie, you need to be more serious.
I can't help but laugh because I imagine all these things. For every little thing that happens in the world, there's always an opportunist.
Yeah.
There's always.
There is. But I think, don't you have to admire that? Because
the balls of it, or
yeah, because this person is seeing every moment as how can I?
You have to give it to
How
them.
can I? Yeah,
they're very clever, witty in a way of like, if it happens this way, I can say it this way.
Yeah,
and then it's like all mind control. And to him, if nothing happens, he goes to even a bigger prediction next time.
Yes, and he probably amasses more congregation because he's like, hey, I did this. We prayed. I called us to fast. We prayed. The world didn't end.
Yeah.
And that word of mouth as well. Did you see what Pastor so-and-so did?
Yeah.
You guys have no idea.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, don't hate on it. Good job, Pastor Prophet. I forgot you. I'm not going to shout you out. But his church is called No Grief for Satan Ministry.
Oh my gosh. That's complete doom and gloom.
Come on.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Music. Let me start. In general, before we get to the happenings, there was new music. Like Beyonce dropped her country album.
Yes. In April. Yes.
Yes. Taylor Swift dropped her album.
Yes.
I think Tyler dropped her album.
Oh,
her first album.
Okay.
Make Me Sweat, Tyler.
Yes.
I think this Thames I know dropped a song. I don't know if she's dropped an album yet. I do think what made me was looking through and I'm thinking it's a good time for female artists.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really good time for female artists.
Female artists rising.
Yeah. That I was just like, it's just really good to see that female artists are out here just kicking ass.
Yeah.
And even on the continent, like there's Tyler, there's Thames, there's Arya Starr. There's a lot of young up and coming female artists, which is just really dope. I did listen to Beyonce's album. I liked a few songs in there. But I like that, I don't know, I feel like she's in the era where she's just, I don't think these things are money for her. She's just challenging. She's just
trying.
And yeah, because she's like, when she went for the CMAs, she felt these people treated her a certain way. So she's like, this music. We had country music as Black people, so I'll go and challenge that.
Yeah.
Brought in artists who are already in that genre and like gave them more a bigger platform, so they're bigger now.
And because of that album, Levi's stock went up in April.
That is a flex that you need to have in life.
Yes.
I mentioned Levi in a song, and it's like, shares. Damn.
Shares went up.
This is. How many of. Anyway, it's okay, Beyonce. Bless you, Beyonce's internet.
Maybe if we sing, is Tasker publicly sold? Task EAB or no? It's not.
EAB, I don't know if it's public. In Kenya, it's publicly. It's public. Is it? I think I've seen EABL shares on the stock exchange.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was gonna say
the Nairobi Stock Exchange.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if I would. Let's not say them, and the shares tank. That would be so funny. I didn't listen to Taylor Swift's album.
Yeah.
I don't know. She's not. I don't.
Are you?
No, I'm not really a fan.
Are you Swiftie? Are you a Swiftie?
Not really.
Okay.
I can respect her. There's a skill there for you to be that big.
Yeah.
And to have that kind of fan following.
She has cult like following.
Yeah,
actually.
cult like following.
Yeah.
And I think people say she's a good writer.
Yeah.
But I think she's just, to be fair, in general, like pop music is not something I really. Although now pop music is anything popular. Piano is basically almost pop music now.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I just, unless her song comes on radio and again, I don't listen to radio much.
Yeah.
So it's not, her music doesn't really come my way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, I remember something we shared in a group chat that she's doing a Euro tour and she's coming to Europe.
Yeah.
And then on Reddit, her fans in Zurich.
Her European fans are like, Americans, stop coming here.
Don't come.
Don't come. You're taking our tickets. I'm like, is it that serious? Damn.
Their whole Reddit wars about
Taylor Swift. So I know she's a cult like following, and I'm like, you have to respect that. That is skill, that is talent, that is having the ability to be able to amass that many people. And I think she's also, I don't know who was mentioning this, her, Drake, and who else can I think of, are people who, I think Kim Kardashian was put in that category. They like being famous.
Okay.
And they're not shy about liking being famous. Like, yes, we sing, but we also like fame. And I think she's one of those people who just likes fame. And I'm like, that's respectable to be like, I like this thing.
Yeah.
And I've worked and I want to continue to live in this life where people, they're in my business. And like, Taylor Swift fans should be detectives, because whenever I land on days, I'm like, let me go on Taylor Swift Twitter and see what's happening. And people are like, this line in her song means this. And I'm like, where do you have this time? Damn. But anyway, yes, now Drake and Kendrick. Mind you, as we are speaking, Drake may drop another song again. Who knows?
So, can I, for a person like me who's not been following this,
yes,
can I get like 20 words?
Can you see the ugly face is already making?
20 words recap of what's been happening.
Right, basically,
yes,
Drake
in
has
20
been
words.
hated
in
the industry
forget.
for so long.
Turn off your mic. No, let me give you the central. Me as a layman, I don't know all this background.
Yeah.
So, there was which was the point? What is the song Drake wanted Kendrick on?
Like that.
Is that where it started from?
I think so. I don't know.
All right. I don't know the history.
Yeah.
Apparently they've not liked each other. I don't know when they started or whatever. When I came into this is Drake dropped a song. And I think back then it would be subs. So it's like in a song he'd say one line and people would be like, oh, that line is about Kendrick, or that line is about Drake, or whatever. So this song dropped and it was very clear it was towards Kendrick. And J. Cole was a feature on that song.
Okay.
And J. Cole also said some stuff. And then the next day, the next day or 2 days after, J. Cole had a come to Jesus moment and went on stage and said, you know what, Kendrick, I'm sorry. I should not have said that. I love you. My bad. And the internet streets were like, what? Why would you applaud? Yeah, you were one of the big three. The big three is Kendrick, Drake, and J. Cole. Like, you don't know why they're the big three. And they're like, why would you apologize? That's so, you're a rap guy. You should, blah, 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 blah. All right. Drake drops another song. Right?
Yeah.
DJ.
Yes. Then.
Which was that one called? Oh, 50 push-ups or whatever.
Yeah.
Push-ups or whatever. So Drake dropped that one. Now it's again another shot towards Kendrick. Then people are like, oh, Kendrick, you must respond. You're not, we're giving you 1 day, 2 days, blah, blah, blah. People are like, Kendrick is not responding. What the fuck? Then Kendrick dropped a song called Euphoria, which 6 minutes. Yeah, because when we were recording last, Drake had dropped.
Yeah, we talked just. We talked briefly about it.
Yes. So then now Kendrick responded and said some shit. The man is good with words.
Yes,
not gonna lie, really good with words. And in there he said, yeah, people being like, oh, you should respond, blah blah blah. He's like, it's not like I'm a rapper full time. I'm also a dad. Like I have kids to raise. I have a son to raise. Yeah. And tells Drake, I guess you know nothing about that. Because Drake has a son, but I guess trying to call him a deadbeat dad. So, okay. Next day, Kendrick drops another one.
Yeah.
Called 616 in LA.
So now it's a back and forth where...
No, now Euphoria drops, Kendrick. Yeah. Next day in the morning, he drops 616.
Okay.
Basically tell Drake, like, yo, where you at? Right? I thought y'all were asking me where I'm at with my dropped.
Here they're coming.
Yeah. Then Drake responded the next day. At night. Who knows? I woke up in the morning and it had happened. So Drake dropped his called Family Matters, which I thought was good.
Yeah.
20 or 30 minutes later, Kendrick dropped another one. And this one, let me tell you, was like, those when they do piano songs for horror music.
Yes.
It was stripped back, no beats. Hey.
It's the anger that was...
Hey, me, I was listening to that thing like this. I was like, hold on. Wait. No. Wait.
He said what?
No. I did like a love letter to Drake's son.
Wow.
Telling Drake's son how his dad is a deadbeat.
Whoa.
And he's like, if you need a mentor, hit me up.
My God.
Because this guy is not in your life, I can be.
Yeah.
Then writes a love letter to Drake's mom. Tell her how she raised a deadbeat son. Then a love letter to his other daughter, a daughter who we don't know about. We don't know if she's real or not. Then a letter to the last verse was now to Drake. And I was like, wow.
Shots fired.
Wow. And insinuated about him being a pedophile because Drake, I don't know. Apparently like that he's messed with underage girls or young girls. Whatever. Then yesterday, Kendrick dropped another one.
Oh.
Because everyone was like, yeah, this beats are not... Because Drake is really good at doing club music. Yeah. Like his music is playable. Like the beats, whatever. I guess Kendrick was like, oh yeah, you guys want one
you
that
want
you
a
can
club
dance
banger. I got
Here's
you.
another one. And yeah.
Is this why... what's your beef with this?
Well, Kendrick has been sneak dissing Drake for years. There's a song from back in the day where it was featuring him and some other rapper, and then he came and took shots at Drake, and Drake left it, and he felt salty because, he had brought this guy on tour, and it's like, but I truly believe that, people hate on Drake because he's a Canadian who's winning in an industry that's majority Americans, So all these his American rap counterparts, they all hate him because look at this Canadian coming, breaking numbers, records, not even records that rappers set, pop stars.
But he's a pop star.
Yeah, no. He's a rapper and he's doing it within hip hop as well. And that hate on him has been coming for. So there are so many people in the backline saying, oh, yes, it's about time he got it. Because he's hated. He fits into so many spaces that all these Americans can never fit into. The grime space he fits in. German hip hop he fits in. What Afrobeats he fits in. None of these Americans can fit in the way he does. And it annoys them that he's got so much ground, he's broken so much ground, and they are all waiting to stamp on him. Now, the only thing is that 99% of the time, he's not gonna. This is not gonna change anything for Drake. He's set. He's solidified.
Yeah.
Kendrick is the only one who he can't lose this.
But why?
He can't lose this because Kendrick.
What does he have to lose?
He's a real. He's a rapper.
But let's talk numbers. Drake is worth like 250 million. Kendrick is worth like 100 million.
No, but I'm saying
these people are rich.
Yeah, no.
So no one's losing. These people are rich.
I'm saying
rich.
As far as the art of rapping is concerned, the respect that he gets from his peers is because they think of him as the best. If he were to lose to Drake, he'd lose that title straight. Not anything to do with his numbers or anything. No, just the respect on the street. Now, Drake is not going to lose anything anyway because he does everything.
Like he fits in all
spaces. He fits in all spaces.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know.
And especially me and the DJ community, I'll speak on behalf of the DJs. You know what I mean? We rarely go searching for a Kendrick track. Rarely. One or two, max.
He doesn't have club bangers.
He doesn't. None. Even this one is light.
But I've seen Kendrick in concerts. Like he has a big following, especially in Europe.
He does.
No,
so how come? Where are these people listening the music?
Listen, Kendrick has got chill music,
Okay.
Yeah, conscious stuff. I don't listen to Kendrick because I'm out here to have fun.
Let me offer two alternative opinions.
What Kendrick gives me doesn't resonate fun. And that's not a good feeling. Even when I listen to Tupac, I feel the same way. I don't feel like fun when I'm listening to Tupac. When I'm listening to Biggie, that's cool, party, everything, bottles, boom. That's the energy I get from that kind of music. That's how I feel about Drake.
Let me give two alternative opinions here. When I think of Kendrick and Drake, to me it's like Adele and Taylor Swift, right? Taylor Swift has a song every month. Every single month since she came out has a song. Adele will drop an album, go live her life for 5-6 years, come back. She's like, whoo, I got divorced, you guys. Let me give you the story. Disappears. Then she'll come back. So Adele has what? 2, 3, 4 albums? 3 or 4 albums. I have no idea. Taylor Swift has, I don't know, 30-something. That's Kendrick and Drake. Drake has a song every month. Kendrick goes away, marinates, goes to therapy about his dad's stuff, comes and drops an album hey, I went to therapy.
Maybe raises his family. Yes. Doing family stuff.
That stuff, comes back, drops an album. Now, would you say Adele is a better artist than Taylor? I think they're just two different type of artists. Taylor is her diary. Today I went to the dentist and the dentist told me, your teeth are this way. Write a song. And that's coming out. Her is a diary of her every day that comes out real time. She's almost like, her songs are almost like her Instagram. Of like, you guys, I did this today. That's how she does. Drake is similar. Drake is, somebody hits Sexy Red today is big. Drake has a collab.
Do you feel?
Wizkid, he's a collab. And that's great. It's like, I don't think either is better or worse. They're just two different artists.
But now, this is where I bring it depends, They're different artists and they will almost be had in the same spaces. But what I see is that people are seeking realness. Maybe almost the way social media has become, that you want to see people living their lives, like whatever they're talking about resonates with you on an almost day to day. So I can see the appeal of maybe Taylor Swift or Drake, like he would drop something that's very real, that's very now, that's happening now, that's not too deep, that people want to relate with. Yes.
Because and I agree with you. I don't think these two artists have zero overlap.
Yes.
A lot of the listeners are overlapped.
Yes.
You want someone who, damn, that experience you lived, you disappeared for 5 years, you came back, a relationship didn't work out. Somebody is like, I feel that happened to me. So people want to want to hear somebody talking about an experience they've had.
Yes.
And they're like, yeah, that's what I went through. At the same time, they also want to hear somebody who gives them the option to escape.
Yes.
Of like, yo, I'm going to the club and I'm throwing my ass. Yes, I want to.
Yeah.
These are not two different human beings. Like we are a complex being.
Yeah. And we adapt to everything, and sometimes we are seeking a bit of escape.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But I can see why there is same appeal, but also sort of different.
Yes.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
the artists.
Yeah.
Again, the Drake and Kendrick's.
Yeah.
I always
So
feel Kendrick is very lyrical to me, very deep. I love his songs. I've seen him in concert twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd still go for a Drake concert.
Me
Because
too.
I like his song. I like his bangers.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. But then now to your, I had a question on your previous opinion about him not being liked because he's Canadian. I wonder, is it that, or is it like, I wonder if that's what it is, because I also look in real life. Let's say it's not Drake. In real life, if someone tells me, man, these people just don't like me, and everywhere they're moving through life, they're friends with someone, and then they fell out, and then they're friends with someone, they fell out, and the story is always these people don't like me and these people don't like me. At some point, do you not think, hey, you're the common occurrence here? It can't be just people just don't like you. And so I wonder if for him, is that something that should be looked into? It can't just be everyone just doesn't like me and they don't like me because I don't know if that narrative is right, or there also needs to be a moment of reckoning of, I do wonder. And maybe it's not him. Maybe it's his people around him. Because we know sometimes these mega artists have crews that kind of, like, they make them live in a bubble, so they don't really know what's happening out there, or
they're proxying the world to them.
Yes.
Because they're probably not following all the news or what's happening on the ground.
Yeah.
They're just performing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a likelihood that there could be something like that.
I think we can't. There's no one on the level of success that he is who's Canadian. There's nobody.
You're lying. Justin Bieber is Canadian. Sir.
No, not like
Sir.
I'm saying in the hip hop circles. In the hip hop circles, the hip hop and R&B circles.
It can't be like Drake is the first Canadian superstar.
No.
There's plenty.
No.
That's not. There's
But
plenty.
on the level of success that
There's
he is,
plenty.
who moves the way he does, he's the only one.
He's not the only one.
Doing.
Let's not.
No,
let's
but
not.
Justin Bieber is not a rapper like that.
No, but you're saying
but I'm
an
just
artist.
saying, we're talking about rappers here. This is what he's doing. He's rapping now. We're talking about rappers. There's nobody else. And within the rap industry, there's this protectiveness that, listen, you have to come from a certain area to pop. That's the way it is. They've been hating from him from day one. They hugged him when it was convenient for them. All those people who are talking about him now have got a hit made by Drake. Hands down. All of them.
Okay.
All of them have got a hit made by Drake. Kendrick's first tour was warming up for Drake. Drake has been number one for 15 years straight. Kendrick just got here 12 years ago.
Oh, wow.
That's it.
I didn't know that.
And people talk like this, like there's the level of disrespect and there's no honor amongst someone who shake your hand one day when they want something from you, and then the next day they say they wish you were dead.
But let me ask you.
And this talk of people talk like, Drake's got no fans. People talk like Drake's got no fans.
Yeah.
He's massive.
That's how people are talking. Can you see all this energy here? It's like Drake.
I like how
this is why I
got it out of you.
I didn't want to talk. I didn't want to talk.
I love it.
I didn't want to talk. I didn't want to talk. Go ask any DJ. Go ask any any of your nights out.
Yes.
How many Drake songs do you hear?
Yeah,
okay, the last beef that you heard with Drake and Kendrick, the last beef songs, do you remember what Kendrick's lines were? No.
Yes.
But everyone knows back to back.
He said,
everyone
let me hear you say, ho.
That was the last night's song. That is not going to last. He doesn't make those kind of songs. He's not that kind of guy. He should stick to his conscious stuff and talk about plants and hugging trees. That's what he should stick to.
Oh my God. All right.
We have disrespect.
We have a Drake fan in the house.
No, it's not. It's not just, just leave the guy alone.
It's not that deep. The line you said about like somebody can shake your hands today, and that's the industry. That is the entertainment industry. That is Hollywood. That is the industry. And honestly, that is also real life. The only difference is in real life, nobody's telling you that to your face. In real life, there's people out here. This is why they say you have, if you count and you say, man, I have 8 good friends. But you roll with more than 8 people in life. If you think about people you've interacted with and you have close, like it's that in life, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Art imitates life, right? And it's just in life, people don't have the opportunity to be like, yeah, Carrie, hi.
Yeah.
It really pisses me off that blah, 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 blah. They're thinking it. They might be saying it in some other spaces.
Yeah.
So there's I don't think it's like this thing that is just like a thing that's just happening to him. I think also it's I don't know, maybe sometimes and this is again not about him, but it's just in general. People people
love to
we
hate
have
Drake.
to
Hands down. You cannot name one artist.
That's why
today.
he's the biggest artist.
No,
I don't
name
understand.
one artist today who's dominated, not just being there hovering, dominated for 15 years straight. Straight 15
Every
years.
year.
Every year.
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift has been around for 15 years.
However long she's been dominating.
Anyway,
I don't
we're
know if
talking
you
about on the rap level. Come on. This is unheard of. This is unheard of. And people need to give him the respect he's due. There's no big 3. It's just Drake there. Boom. By himself. That's there.
Oh, okay. Now.
By himself. No, these other guys, they can say what they want and say be disrespectful on tracks.
There's only
and
big one,
There's only one. There's only one. Let's be fair.
But I have a question for you, like to wrap up on the Drake and Kendrick.
Yeah.
On just this beef level, this last few days, it's been a week. It feels like it's been 14 months. However long this has been going on. I don't even know if I can ask objectively.
I don't think at this moment.
No, I guess I can't ask objectively.
But what did you have in mind?
No, I was going to ask like objectively, if you were coming into this knowing just the snapshot of time, not the context and everything.
Oh, the history of it all.
Yeah, because honestly, even the history I'm hearing now, I don't know the history of all this.
Yeah.
So coming into it in a snapshot in time, if you're coming in, you're like, oh, what is happening? Oh, this dropped. Honestly, I see why Kendrick I think is the only rapper who's had a Pulitzer Prize. I can see why. Because some of the, like him dropping his song immediately after Drake's, I was like, that's cold. Let the other one marinate for a bit, because then it like people switches their attention. Because I think Drake's song is a really good song, but because this other one drops immediately, and we live in a time where it's
very fast.
The latest news is like recency bias. Oh, this has just happened. Yeah. Everyone has moved directions. Yeah. I think the Drake song was a really good song, but I don't think it got the weight it should have gotten because of also like the way the Kendrick's second drop happened, third drop, however many drops that was. So I think, and then also the weight of his drop was also like, oh, okay.
Shocking.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I guess it's done. Let's all go home. It's been great, right? And then I think the last song, what was surprising to me is also, it seems like he wrote that having listened to the other one, and to have that kind of turnaround time.
It's also admirable.
Is also admirable,
yeah.
Right? And I'd be surprised if there's Drake fans over there and Kendrick fans over there. I don't think it's like the Tupac Biggie time, which again, us who are outsiders, we are not Americans, and that seemed very people who live in the East Coast and people who live on the West Coast. It was, you don't fuck with West Coast music if you're East Coast or opposite, right? So your fans, there's no overlap. It's like, that's what it was. But these people are both, they're not gangsters.
Yeah.
They're not in the streets like that at all.
Yeah.
The audience now is different. It's very global. So I think I'd be surprised if there's, it's if you listen to Kendrick, you don't listen to Drake. In my head, we are all the same listeners. I listen to both.
Yeah.
It's not that we are different listeners, as we were saying, that it depends on, I guess, on, your mood. Like, I'm looking for something introspective, but when I'm in the club, I'm not going to play introspective. I'm going to play Drake. And that's talent. But it's been interesting. But
yeah, I think I've said what that's why,
Thanks for breaking that down for me. I've been behind the news in terms of Drake and Kendrick and J. Cole, who stepped out.
J. Cole. Actually, the winner of all this is J. Cole. J. Cole said, no, Kendrick, I'm sorry.
Not my circus, not my monkey.
Yeah, I'm like, for him to have that foresight, I was like, I think Kendrick called him and told him.
Yeah.
What is J. Cole's? What's his first name? Joe? Jordan. Is it Joe?
I'm not sure.
I'm not exact. We were calling him Joe. Kendrick called him and said, Joe, are you sure?
Can you handle?
Are you sure? We've been friends. I suggest
you sit this one out.
And Jordan Cole said, yeah, let me go apologize. Yes. My bad. He is truly the winner. Him and content creators.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we want to wrap up on? Do you want to talk about the trad wife?
How many?
Do you want to talk about?
Yeah.
I think it's
Ozempic. Do you want to talk about which one do you want to fit in last?
We can put up. We can talk about. Oh, I don't know. But that's interesting.
Yeah. Let's start with the trad wife because I think that's
internet streets.
Yeah.
So this section is on internet streets on what's been happening. So, trad wife. If you don't know what trad wife is, let me give you a little background. So, trad wife is something that has been made a bit big on the internet, social media streets, where trad wife translates to traditional wife. It's like, so I wouldn't say a movement. It's a way of living of women who've decided they want to take in the patriarchal way of life, where a woman has a designated spot in the home. They're a homemaker. They raise the family, and the man is meant to go to work and be the provider. So the trad wife is sort of, it's gaining popularity, and it has a lot of inputs from different people. So there is one influencer that people have sort of brought into focus as the ultimate trad wife. Representation of trad wife, yes. But the sad story is that I don't see her as that. Initially, she looked like she was. Her name is Nara. Nara Smith, yeah. She has a TikTok account that gathers millions of views. She's half South African, half German. Her mom is South African, and they moved to Germany, I think, when she was really young. She's a model. I think she was a supermodel for a long time. She's barely in mid-20. She's not even 25, I don't think so.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's quite young. But she's this girl who...
Wait, and she has 3 kids?
Yeah, she has 3 kids. I think she got her first child when she was 19.
Okay.
But she started modeling like when she was around 15.
Okay.
So, what she's known for, actually, her videos on the internet were her making dishes from scratch.
Very intricate dishes, not ugali.
Not ugali and not meat and
boiled rice.
Actually, the one that blew my mind, she made Cocoa Puffs. You know the cereal?
The cereal.
Yes, from scratch for her kids.
And she starts with, my children are craving Cocoa Puffs.
They're craving Cocoa Puffs. And she has this little soft voice. And recently she made chewing gum, as in bubble gum.
That one
scratch.
I saw.
As in from scratch.
She's like, my friend was craving bubble gum. Go buy it.
Yeah, buy chewing gum. Buy Big G. Buy...
Oh, Big G.
Yes. But why she... Okay, so the fact that she has all this time to sit at home and actually put these intricate meals together, raise her kids, and be able to actually create content around it. And I'm sure she's making a ton of money.
Yeah.
People viewing from the outside into her life think she's being a picture of what a traditional wife is like. And the men on the internet streets was like, yes, when
This
you
is
have
the
a
kind
woman,
of-
the
oh
kind
my
of
God.
woman we want, who makes, I don't know, she makes even her own cheese from scratch. She makes her own pasta from scratch. This is the kind of woman we want, you know. And anyway, she's come round to sort of show that she's not really into that trad wife movement as I call it. But it's been fascinating to see, especially in the last 1 month or so. People talk about it a lot. I'm usually, I love social media. I love to see what's happening in the world through other people's eyes. So to me, that's been fascinating, like to just watch the rise of trad wife movement. People talk about it. Then there were all these other people who came and said, I was a trad wife. I was told this is the place I belonged. Now I'm divorced and I have no money for my kids. I have to go back into the workforce. And then she comes in and she's like, I'm not really a traditional wife. It's just because I have the money, I have the time, my husband.
That's true.
Yes.
That's true. And I
Yeah.
think I think it's a symptom of what you see online. And I think I must have seen another
Yeah.
creator talk about this, where they're like, it's interesting where we've gotten to a point where we're not discerning that, okay, this person, it's a business, right? So even as she's doing this trad wife online, it's not free.
Yeah.
She's making a lot of money from this content.
Yeah.
But for people to view that and then be like, okay, that's a life I want, without understanding the context of, no, this person is doing this. So when she's saying, my children are craving Cocoa Puffs, so I woke up, she didn't wake up in the morning and make Cocoa Puffs for 6 hours. This was shot at a different time. And it's like put things in perspective into life.
Yeah.
And I think for some reason, maybe we've been so immersed in social media now, that people's sense of discernment is kind of getting warped. And so there's this content creator who basically goes in and she looks at people creating content and they say, oh yeah, I think she picked one of her videos and she like zooms into the background and then she's like, do you see the time in the oven in the background? That's not this time. She looks at you can see like the sun and you can see blah, 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 blah. And she's basically just saying, I'm not hating on Nara Smith and her content. That narrative fits what she's selling.
Yes.
But you as the consumer,
You're thinking this is what.
yes, this is not a reflection of reality. Yes, there's people are influencers. Some of these things can influence you, but there needs to be discernment on also how you're influenced.
Yeah. There's another content creator actually also, I think in the US, that creates content around living in the farm. It's called something farms. And I remember being so in awe of her making this bread from scratch. And then she had the cheese. She made cheese from scratch and she put together and for her kids. And even their way of life it resonated so well with me in terms of how I was living. We grew up, you know, like making almost everything from whatever you had in your home and not buying almost everything that you needed, you know?
Yeah.
So I was looking at that. And then I looked through the comments and somebody pointed out that the stove she's making this on is actually worth almost $10,000 US. So she has this front that she wants to show you how to live in a farm and in a village. And
but it's a rich farm life.
It's a rich farm life. It is not exactly what you think it is.
Yeah.
So you may want to relate to it, but they're selling you something.
Yeah.
And again, it's the whole thing about the trad wife movement.
Yeah.
That most of the time, the interpretation that most people had, and I have to say, this was especially men who would come out and point out, now this is how a woman should should move through life, you know, raise kids, they were there like trying to show that this is the way life should be. And it was terrible.
It also makes me think how things in life are cyclical, right?
Yeah.
It's because our parents or grandparents are the trad wives.
Yes.
And then it's like, oh, no. We are moving through that. So it's like, okay, so millennials are here working hard not to be trad wives.
Yeah.
For Gen Z and Gen Alphas to come out to be trad wives. And it's like, what are we doing? What are we doing, folks?
Yeah.
No.
Should we wrap up? Or?
Yes, let's wrap up. We had 2 more stories, but we got to caught up with this.
Yeah.
So maybe actually one of these might become a full episode. On the Ozempic, Mounjaro, we go semaglutides and weight loss drugs, and this whole debate about is it right, is it wrong, is it's I think maybe that should be a full episode. Because I think it talks to a bigger issue or topic when it comes to like the body positivity movement and just women's bodies in general, because half these conversations are not about men's bodies, it's about women's bodies.
I think we'll make this a topic, but I've not seen on social media many men talk about using semaglutides for weight loss. It's usually mostly women, but then again it's also something that's related to PCOS. Most of the people with PCOS go for this. But yeah, that would be an interesting conversation.
And also it's diabetes, because the drug is a diabetic drug, right? But even like people being like, it's okay. So I've seen people make comments a lot about, oh, this is like, you can just go to the gym. Why do you have to take these drugs? It just takes discipline. It just takes. And I'm like, I think that really annoys me, because I'm like, you can't just summarize this. Like, I think like summarize things to be like, it's just easy. There's things like genetics, folks. There's other things like hormones and other shit that comes into play.
Well.
So I think it's very frustrating, and I think it comes to this notion that people have had of, or if you see somebody who's, and I think obese in quotes, and I'm putting obese in quotes because it's a visual thing. People don't know your health. They don't know what your body fat is. They don't know your cholesterol is. They just see you and assume this comes with whatever it is. And a lot of that has been tied to, oh, this is by default, if you look this way, you're lazy. Or you're blah, blah, blah. And half the time in the comments, people who are like, oh, now you're too fat. Now you're too skinny. You need to stop taking this. It's men commenting on women's pages. And I'm like, what is Are you doing that thing from that meme? You can go to hell. He's doing that thing. Remember that video of how women panels be like, and then, okay. We'll post that on our page. But let's make that a full episode.
It will be a full episode for sure.
Yeah. If you've stuck with us this far, thank you.
Thank you so much for our roundup.
Yes. And please, if this is your first episode, go back, watch others. And then thank you for being with us.
Ciao.
Yes. Oh, it clicked.